Hi, my name is Akiva Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman & Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law, so please subscribe to our channel. What should you be doing if you think you're going to file for divorce? Is there something specific that you should do? Well, I'll tell you. There's a couple of financial things that you might consider. Number one, do you have joint accounts? Are they joint with your spouse? Are you worried that if they are, that they're going to go and clean out the account and leave you cash poor? If that's a concern, you need to do something about that before you file. Now, if you were to take all the money and put it in a separate account, expect to have to answer some very, very pointed questions by a guy in a black robe why you did that. However, if you take half the money, that presumably that you're going to get anyway, and you save that and put that in an account that's not joint but it's in your own name, yes, you'll be asked the questions, but at least you'll have a decent answer. Your answer is, Judge, I didn't want him to squander through it. He's got a gambling habit. I wanted to preserve the marital estate, but I know I'm only entitled to half, so I took my half. The other half is right there. And here's my bank account to show that it's preserved. See, that's the way you handle it. So you might want to do that specific thing if you think it's necessary to preserve the marital estate. If you think, for example, that you'll go to mom while you're gone, he'll bring a U-Haul and clean out the house. If you're worried that that'll happen, before you file, you might go through the house with your iPhone, put it on video setting, and you might video all the valuable things that are in the house. Because if you don't have a record of it, you're going to say, he took the, Ming vase that's worth $1 zillion, and they'll say, what are you talking about? We never had such thing. If you've got it on a video that it was there, then you've got some proof. If not, you're just blowing in the wind there on whether or not the court's going to believe that you had it. So that's a problem. So you might want to video document valuables, especially valuables that you think might be stolen. A lot of times couples will come to us and say, well, there's a safe there. And, normally during the day it keeps open, there's stacks of cash. I'm afraid I start this and he's going to clear it out. Well, you may be right. He may do that. And you can't go clear it out because then he'll come after you. But you can take a picture of it. You can video it. You can get some documentation that exists. And if you do that, that will help you. On the flip side, if you share joint credit cards and you're worried that your ex, upon finding out that you may be filing, is going to run up the charges, well, then you better call Visa and MasterCard. You better tell them what's going on, and you better tell them, I want to separate my credit, my name, my own credit cards, and keep these separate from my spouse. If you do that, you might be able to avoid a situation where somebody runs up a tab before the court can get involved and stop it. A lot of times, the court will look at the purchases and say, well, you bought stuff for your girlfriend. You're not going to make your wife pay for that, that's for sure. But there are sometimes other things. We've had people who, for example, have gone and, at the spur of the moment, gotten a very, very costly dental procedure that they've been putting off, which they probably should have put off till after the divorce, but they figured if they get it now, the other side will pay for it. So these kind of things can go on. You got to remember one thing, even if the court says, no, you're paying for this, you're paying for that, but if the bank thinks that you're both liable, the bank is not a party to your divorce. So if the bank were to come after you for a debt that your wife is supposed to pay for, if you say, well, my wife is supposed to pay, the court ordered it, here's a copy of my judgment, and you can see I'm not supposed to have to pay for this, the bank will say, look, that's very nice that you have a judgment. We're not a part of your divorce. We don't care what the judge said about the two of you. We're the bank. As far as we're concerned, you're a guarantor and you got to pay us. So if you're worried that that's going to happen, you better take steps to limit that credit. You better take steps to either take your name off the account, or if you can't, voluntarily reduce your limit so that you're not exposed to thousands of dollars. You can reduce your limit to $500 a month, and then if she does spend it, she has very little opportunity to, overspend beyond the limit. If he goes crazy and starts taking advances, he can only take so much, right? These are ways in which you might be able to limit your exposure, and I think those are important things with respect to doing things before filing. As far as custody and stuff like that, if you're going to make a play for custody, it's important for you to be able to demonstrate that you're involved with the kids, that you are involved with the schooling, that you are involved with the doctors, that you take an interest. Because if you're going to come during the divorce after having never been to a parent-teacher conference, never been to the doctor, not even knowing what your kid's favorite color is or flavor is or teacher is, if that's the position you're going to take, it's going to be hard for you to convince the court that you should share the custody with the person who has all that information. So therefore, try to get more involved in that if custody is going to be an issue. These are some recommendations. Obviously, those are not the kind of recommendations that, with respect to custody, that you can do overnight, but it's good advice to try and put yourself in a position so that nobody can say that you're just an absentee parent. If you have any questions about these issues, reach out. We'll be glad to help you out.